Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we'll introduce ourselves. We're from the Linkse Socialistische Partij in Belgium.
Brilliant, good.
Yeah, which is like a small radical left organization here in Belgium. And we asked you if we could do an interview with you, and you agreed to it, so that's why we're here.
Yeah.
So first of all, we're going to publish this on our website, if you don't mind.
Hello, website people.
So our first question would be, like, you as a group, as Anti-Flag, where do you see yourself, where do you position yourself on the political spectrum? Well, obviously it'll be more on the left, but how do you define your political views or the opinions you have?
It's a difficult thing because I don't know whether we fit into any particular dogma. We're definitely leftists. We definitely believe in redistribution of wealth. I believe in communism on a small scale. I don't know whether I believe in communism on a large scale. I think anytime you're trying to impose anything onto a large group of people, it turns into a totalitarian state, which is not good for anybody. So, yeah, I would say we are leftists. I believe in justice and freedom for everybody, no matter what your color of skin or sexual preference is. I believe that wealth should be, that we're all better off when wealth is distributed to everybody equally. So, whatever that makes me, I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Well, I think it would be fair to say, or safe to say, that you guys are sort of anti-capitalist.
For sure.
For sure, absolutely. So that's why, because I think the crisis we're seeing today, the crisis we're living through today, is obviously a crisis of capitalism.
For sure. Well,
according to us.
Yeah, well, it definitely is. It's the failure of, it's the realization of what true capitalism is. When people are unchecked with capitalism, greed wins, and people who are greedy continue to grab until they eat everything they can get their hands on. And that's the problem with capitalism. Unless you have a lot of safeguards and a lot of protections of people to keep the greedy from devouring everything, including themselves, that's the only way that capitalism can even sort of sustain itself. And in this world, it's specifically the world of George Bush, the world of Ronald Reagan, and Clinton to a large extent, where they got rid of a lot of the safeguards to keep capitalism from eating itself, and just let it run rampant, and this is what happens, and we all suffer from it.
Yeah, well, it's very interesting that you were talking about the world of George Bush and the world of Ronald Reagan and stuff like that.
For sure.
Because we were also wondering about, now that Barack Obama has been elected as president, there was a lot of certainly above all in the United States, there was a lot of optimism about the election of Barack Obama, and that things would change, that he would introduce a lot of measures that would bring justice to a lot of Americans.
Yeah, we believe that. Why did that not happen yet?
Exactly. So my question would be, how do you feel about...
For sure. I think that I've lived long enough to realize that change doesn't happen quickly. And I've lived long enough to realize that people say a lot of things to become president, even if they don't necessarily believe them or aren't able to actually achieve them. So I had a lot of skepticism about what Obama was saying. Now, I think he is infinitely better than George W. Bush. I think he is even better than Clinton, at least in his rhetoric. However, we have not seen any action yet that I can point to and say, well, there's one action that I can point to and say, I'm proud of that guy, and that is he lifted the ban on people having HIV to travel in the States. So now if you have the HIV virus, you can still travel to the States. In the past, you couldn't. So that's one good thing that he has concrete thing that he has done. He has said he was going to close Guantanamo Bay. It's still running. He said he was going to pull the troops out of Iraq. It's still happening. He said that he was going to stop the war in Afghanistan. The war in Afghanistan is still going. So he said we were going to have health care. We still don't have health care. So all these things are, there's potential, and I hope that he achieves what he said. But the reality is, I haven't seen shit yet.
Yeah. Yeah, so would you agree that essentially if you want a true change to happen in society, that it would be impossible to have it from above, that it would have to come from below?
No, change always comes from the bottom. It always comes from the bottom. The politician is only as powerful as the large group of people who are giving him ideas and telling him to go in certain directions. They can't make moves on their own. So I'm a firm believer in organizing, and that everything always comes from the bottom up. So, and that's why it was sort of frustrating, and to some extent it's our fault that there hasn't been more change, because we left the streets in the States. The left were like, okay, we got Obama elected, he's going to carry the ball, we don't have to be in the streets anymore. And in reality, now is the time we really need to be in the streets, because he needs to have that to be able to say, look, this is what the people want, we need to make this change. Right now the left in the States is going, oh, Obama's going to handle it, we can stay at home and watch our TVs, and Obama's dropping the ball. So it's classic example of, you think your work's done as an activist, you think, okay, we've achieved the goal, we don't have to do anything, but whenever you think that you've achieved it, it starts to slip away from you all the time.